Hello everyone, welcome back to By Home Decor. Today, we'll explore the timeless elegance of a French provincial home filled with soft whites, rustic charm, and romantic details. Stay with us until the end to see how every room blends warmth and sophistication in perfect harmony. Step into a living room where centuries of French elegance converge with the soul-soothing warmth of countryside living. Here, architecture becomes poetry. Every beam, every curve, every carefully chosen piece speaks to a tradition that values both beauty and belonging. The walls, dressed in the softest ivory, seem to breathe with the space, expanding and contracting with the day's natural rhythms. Sunlight doesn't simply enter this room, it dances through sheer curtains, transforming ordinary moments into something luminous and tender. The furniture stands as testament to artisan hands, carved wood pieces that bear the gentle marks of craftsmanship, each groove and flourish telling stories of patient dedication. Upholstered in natural linen, these pieces invite touch, promising comfort that doesn't announce itself but rather unfolds gradually, like a conversation with an old friend. Muted blush and sage accents punctuate the neutral canvas, bringing whispers of spring gardens and morning skies into the interior landscape. This isn't a space designed to impress, it's a space designed to embrace, to hold you gently as hours slip by unnoticed. The journey continues into the sleeping quarters, where rest becomes an art form. A magnificent headboard commands attention, not through ostentation, but through the quiet confidence of authentic craftsmanship. Its carved details cast delicate shadows that shift as daylight moves across the room, creating an ever-changing tableau of depth and dimension. The bed itself is dressed in layers of pristine white linens, each fabric chosen for its ability to breathe, to drape, to create that effortless cascade that looks both luxurious and unassuming. Gossamer drapes frame tall windows, their gentle movements suggesting an invisible choreography performed by passing breezes. The color story here deepens, soft lavender pillows, a weathered rose throw draped casually across the foot of the bed, touches of dusty blue and a vintage vase on the nightstand. These aren't decorative choices made in haste, they're thoughtful selections that understand how color can shape emotion, how it can quiet the mind and prepare the body for genuine rest. The floorboards, worn smooth by generations, ground the ethereal quality of the fabrics, reminding us that beauty lives most authentically where heaven meets earth. morning light transforms the kitchen into something magical. This is where French provincial design reveals its practical soul. Beauty must serve life, not simply adorn it. The cabinetry bears the honest patina of distressed wood, surfaces that tell of countless meals prepared, of hands that have opened these doors 10,000 times. Yet there's no sense of wear here, only of character earned through devoted use. Open shelving displays earthenware in graduated shades of cream, taupe, and the palest pink, vessels that have held everything from fresh herbs to Sunday soups. A farmhouse sink, deep and generous, sits beneath a window that frames a view of climbing roses or fruit trees heavy with promise. The countertops, perhaps honed marble or aged butcher block, show the subtle imperfections that make them perfect, that make them real. Linen tea towels hang from brass hooks, their relaxed folds suggesting a home where function and form have made peace with each other. The range, whether vintage or vintage-inspired, stands as the heart of this culinary sanctuary. Above it, perhaps a pot rack holds copper cookware that catches and throws light like jewelry. Every element conspires to create an atmosphere where cooking becomes meditation, where the simple act of chopping vegetables or stirring a pot connects you to something timeless and essential. The dining table stretches long and welcoming, its carved legs and distressed finish speaking of family gatherings that span decades. This isn't furniture that fears use, it welcomes the ding of a dropped fork, the ring left by a wine glass, the accumulated evidence of life abundantly lived. Surrounding it, chairs with rush seats or linen cushions invite lingering, understanding that the best meals don't end with the final course but continue through stories, laughter, and comfortable silences. A runner of natural linen travels the table's length, perhaps anchored by a low arrangement of garden roses, lavender stems, and trailing ivy gathered that very morning. Dishes don't match perfectly, there's a charming mix of patterns and eras, plates that remember different celebrations, glasses that have toasted various joys. Overhead, a chandelier, perhaps iron with candle-style lights or aged wood with Edison bulbs, casts a warm glow that makes every face beautiful, every moment precious. The surrounding space breathes with the same intentional restraint seen throughout the home. A sideboard displays treasured serving pieces, while windows dressed in simple panels allow the outside world to participate in indoor gatherings. This room understands that dining is communion, that breaking bread together is one of humanity's oldest and most sacred rituals. Tucked into an alcove or corner, the reading nook offers sanctuary within sanctuary. Here, the world narrows to the width of a comfortable chair, the reach of good light, the companionship of books. The seating, perhaps a Bergera chair with carved wooden arms and linen upholstery, has been positioned with care, angled to capture the best natural light while maintaining a sense of enclosure and privacy. A small side table holds the essentials of contemplative life: a cup for tea, a place for glasses, space for the stack of books perpetually next to read. The window nearby wears sheer curtains that filter harsh rays into something gentle and sustaining, perfect for hours spent traveling through words. A wool throw in faded indigo or rose drapes over the chair's arm, ready for the moment when reading gives way to drowsing, when the book falls gently to your lap and dreams take over. The floor here might hold a vintage rug, its once vivid patterns softened by time into a watercolor wash of muted tones. A small shelf within arm's reach houses current favorites and old friends, books whose spines are creased, whose pages are dog-eared, whose margins hold the notes of previous readings. This is where the home's soul becomes most visible, where stillness isn't empty but full, where being alone means being completely, contentedly yourself. The bathroom transcends mere utility, becoming instead a private spa where daily ablutions transform into self-care rituals. A vanity with carved details and marble top holds brass fixtures that have aged into a soft gold, their patina suggesting heritage without feeling dated. The mirror above, perhaps with a carved wood frame or surrounded by aged plaster, reflects not just your image but the carefully curated serenity behind you. Storage here is both practical and beautiful. Woven baskets hold rolled towels in ecru and pale gray, while glass jars display cotton rounds, bath salts, and dried lavender bundles. The tub, if present, might be a freestanding clawfoot affair, positioned to gaze out a frosted window while you soak. If a shower, its enclosure uses clear glass to maintain the room's spacious feel, with vintage-inspired fixtures and perhaps a rainfall head. Botanical prints in simple frames adorn the walls, while a small stool holds a potted orchid or fern, something living that thrives in the humidity. The color palette remains true to the home's overall vision: soft whites and creams accented by sage green, dusty mauve, or pale blue. Even here, in this most private of spaces, beauty is not sacrificed to practicality, rather, they dance together in perfect partnership. The hallway becomes a gallery of gathered treasures and family memory. Rather than a mere passage between rooms, it's honored as a space unto itself. The walls, in that same warm ivory that permeates the home, serve as backdrop for an eclectic collection of frames, vintage portraits, botanical prints, watercolor landscapes, perhaps a cherished heirloom mirror with fox glass that reflects the world with romantic softness. A console table, slim enough not to obstruct flow but substantial enough to anchor the space, displays seasonal arrangements and beloved objects. Below it, perhaps a basket holds shoes or a vintage trunk stores linens. The floor runner guides the journey, its pattern subtle enough not to overwhelm, protective of the original flooring while adding another layer of texture and warmth. Wall sconces with fabric shades or aged brass cast pools of gentle light during evening hours, transforming the hallway into something mysterious and inviting. A window at the hall's end might hold a cushioned seat, another opportunity for pause and reflection, for watching the day's light change and shift across familiar walls. Productivity finds grace in the home office, where work becomes a pleasure rather than an obligation. The desk, substantial, carved, bearing the noble scars of genuine wood, faces either a window or a wall dressed with inspiration, a vision board, framed quotes, images that spark creativity and focus. The chair balances support with beauty, perhaps with a linen cushion that ties into the home's broader palette. Organization here doesn't mean sterility. Yes, there are systems, perhaps linen-covered boxes, vintage filing cabinets repurposed with fresh paint, open shelving that displays reference books alongside decorative objects. But there's also room for the organic chaos of active thinking, a stack of current projects, sketches pinned to a board, notes scattered across the desk surface. Light is crucial. A desk lamp with brass accents provides task lighting, while the overall room stays connected to natural rhythms through generous windows. A small sofa or reading chair in the corner suggests the space serves multiple purposes: deep work, yes, but also reading, phone calls, moments of rest between focused sessions. Plants, perhaps a fiddle leaf fig or collection of succulents, bring living energy to a space dedicated to mental labor. The sitting area offers intimacy on a different scale than the main living room. Here, the arrangement is closer, more conversational, designed for 2 or 3 rather than many. A love seat or pair of armchairs face each other across a weathered coffee table, creating a protected enclave within the larger home. The upholstery here might venture into slightly bolder territory, a soft stripe, a faded floral, a textured weave in warm gray, while still honoring the home's restrained palette. Side tables hold lamps with linen shades, their soft glow perfect for evening conversations or solo reading. The rug underfoot has a story, perhaps it's a vintage find, its original vibrancy mellowed into sophisticated subtlety, or a new piece that mimics that aged quality. Books and magazines live on lower shelves or in a nearby basket, always accessible, always inviting another moment of engagement. Windows in this space might have slightly more structured treatments, Roman shades in natural linen or simple panels with subtle detailing. The wall behind the main seating could hold a large mirror, amplifying light and space, or perhaps a collection of plates, their blue and white patterns nodding to French faience traditions. This is where intimate gatherings unfold, where conversation goes deep, where connection happens naturally. First impressions and lasting farewells both happen here, in the entryway that sets the tone for everything beyond. A bench with carved legs and a cushioned seat offers a place to sit while removing shoes, while hooks above hold coats, bags, and hats in an artful arrangement that looks curated rather than cluttered. A mirror nearby serves practical purposes, last glance before departing, first view upon return, but also expands the space, doubling the light and creating depth. The floor here might be original tile in a subtle pattern, or wide planks that bear the traffic of daily comings and goings with stoic grace. A console table, narrow and elegant, holds a tray for keys, a bowl for mail, and always flowers, whether a single stem in a bud vase or a loose arrangement that nods to the current season. The color story here tends toward neutrality, letting the architecture speak, cream walls, aged wood, perhaps a runner in muted stripes or a vintage kilim in faded jewel tones. But there are moments of personality too, a favorite umbrella in the stand, a collection of vintage postcards pinned to a small board, a candle whose scent welcomes you home. This space understands its role, to transition gracefully between the world's demands and the home's embrace, to say both welcome and belong in the same quiet breath. Throughout this French provincial home, a singular vision unfolds, one that honors the past without being imprisoned by it, that values beauty without sacrificing comfort, that creates rooms not as showpieces but as living spaces meant for actual lives. Every choice, from the largest furniture piece to the smallest decorative accent, serves this vision of elegant restraint, rustic authenticity, and romantic warmth. This is design that breathes, that ages gracefully, that becomes more beautiful as it accumulates the patina of daily living. This is a home that doesn't just shelter bodies but nourishes souls, offering refuge, inspiration, and the quiet joy of spaces thoughtfully made.